to join us later today. But to start, did you want to share the slides? Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to have you join us today for our Decarbonize 2023 launch.
Now, I have to kind of do it in the small version. I hope this is okay. Can everybody see it okay?
Okay. So as we get started, I thought I'd put together this amazing, because our meeting today is focusing on youth action. And Greta Thunberg has this great quote where she's saying, once we start to act, hope is everywhere. It's not, we don't find hope in, maybe we could find hope in learning, but for a lot of people, if learning about climate change can make us feel scared or anxious, but really for Greta, she emphasizes how hope, action is what makes us find hope and see hope in the world around us. And I think that's just such an amazing start to our meeting today, where we're looking at what are students doing in their classrooms, whether it be or in their schools or in their communities, if from Argentina to Kenya to Madagascar to northern Saskatchewan in Canada. What are we doing in our places that impacts our local communities? Because what we need here in Edmonton is going to be far different than what a community in Kenya needs. And that's awesome. That's cool. We can support and celebrate the work that we are all doing. Now, we want to start today with a land acknowledgement. I'm going to roll over to my friend Rebecca here.
Yeah, I would love to do a land acknowledgement. So Sarah and I are joining from Amiskwaciwâskahikan, which is colonially known as Edmonton in Canada. This is on Treaty 6 territory, which is the traditional meeting grounds and gathering place for many diverse groups, including just a few like the Cree, the Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, and the Nakota Sioux. And since we're joining on a virtual platform, we'd also like to acknowledge all of the traditional lands and territories that you are all joining from around the world. I would really appreciate it in the name of our reconciliation process if we all take a moment to think about the lands that we're on and think about the peoples that have worked as protectors of the lands that you're on for time immemorial. I know we're going to be sharing lots of ideas of how we can help our traditional lands and territories today. So just keep that in the front of your mind as we go through that process and we share with each other today.
Wonderful. All right. Now we started that we would have our friends from earthday.org open us up. Are they here? Is Kathleen or Amy, have you joined yet? Not quite yet. So we will get back to them in a second. So let's just jump right in. We're going to start today. We're going to have some time where we feature some of our amazing schools that are doing work that I really want to sort of set the stage of things that you too can accomplish, that youth can organize and develop and inspire action in all sorts of amazing ways. And so today we will start with our friends from, I believe, St. Joseph's Academy.
Sorry, gotta skip ours.
And we would love, oh no, actually, I put in a welcome from our friends in Dubai. Do we have our, and Nazreen, I saw you join. Were any of the students able to join us today? Because I wanted to make sure that they had a chance to welcome as we look at COP28 being hosted in Dubai. Our school that will be hosting us while we're there is Fairgreen International School. It's an amazing school situated in Sustainable City. Dubai has these themed cities, so we'll actually be staying in Sports City, and a Sustainable City is where this international school is, just an amazing education place. But our friend Nazreen, were any of your students able to join
our
us?
Fairgreen team is here. They should, I just saw them, so maybe they want to say hello. It's the Eco team. Let me see. I just saw them. There they are.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Thank you, Fairgreen. I'm going to pin you so we can all see you.
So why don't you introduce yourself? And they're with we have 3 students here. I'm sure the team will get bigger as we proceed. As you know, we're coming to you. It's Eid, so not all of us can. Hi. So nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. We're actually knee deep in the Eid holiday. So this is a very big deal for our Fairgreen cohort to be here because I really want to thank them and obviously the kids from Egypt and all of the kids and those of you that are celebrating Eid. Thank you so much for participating. And so I'll hand the mic over to Fairgreen and mute myself.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm the girls teacher here. So the girls actually been working on the presentation slides that you sent out in the email. So they've got a little bit about the UAE and then just a few things that we've been doing in Fairgreen that they're going to present to you. So girls, introduce themselves. And I'll let them take it from here, okay?
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Akvela.
So make a presentation about Dubai.
Sure. You should be ready to go to share.
Hello, everyone. My name is Patricia. I'm from Santos. Hello, everyone. My name is Patricia.
All right, over to you, Dubai.
Okay, so school is Fairgreen International School, and it's a modern and innovative school in Dubai. The school is committed to developing students who are compassionate, confident, and equipped to make a positive impact on our world. Our country, UAE. The UAE is a Middle Eastern country bordered by the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf, has a population around 9 million people, and is made up of 7 emirates, including Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Sharjah. The country is well known for its modern infrastructure, thriving economy, and multicultural culture. It's home to some of the world's most iconic landmarks, including the world's tallest building, Burj Khalifa, and the Palm Jumeirah, an artificial reef shaped like a palm tree. The UAE is also a popular tourist destination.
The climate issue we want to address is reducing plastic use in our school. The issue is important because plastic waste is a major environmental issue that contributes to pollution, wildlife extinction, and climate change. We can help reduce the amount of plastic waste that ends up in landfills and the oceans by reducing plastic use in our schools.
Our first step will be to try to prevent the sales of plastic bottles, cups, and straws in the school. In addition, we will investigate repurposing used plastic bottles into plant pots that can be created and hung on our rooftop garden and or around the school. Our greatest challenge, the cost of reusable and sustainable products can be a barrier to adopting more eco-friendly practices, as they're often more expensive and have less convenience than single-use plastic items. This can make it difficult to switch to more environmentally friendly options.
Our largest success, drinking tap water in the UAE is generally not advised. And as a result, water fountains are a great way to reduce plastic waste and the carbon footprint because they give students easy access to water and motivate them to drink throughout the year. At Fairgreen International School, there are over 10 water fountains and about 440,000 bottles have been recycled overall. The counter rises each time a bottle is filled because the water dispenser has a bottle saver on it.
So what's next? Although our school does have solar panels, we could still use less energy by switching to LED light bulbs or instead conventional ones. Installing motion sensors in hallways and classrooms to turn off lights when no one is present is an alternative solution. Encourage teachers and students to turn off electronics when not in use and to use natural light whenever possible by opening blinds and curtains as another way to reduce energy consumption. Olivia. We are also excited to find out more about Decarbonize of your program and host you all in October.
Yeah, thanks so much. That's wonderful. We're so excited to be able to come to your school to see this in person in just more than a few months, but it'll come fast, that's for sure. Thank you so much for sharing a bit about your experiences and really sort of setting us up for this conversation. Renewable energies. We know that Dubai is really hoping to lead the way in this COP. They're setting a very strong agenda about youth participation. It's one of their main focuses this year, is the voice of youth, the voice of children, but also renewable energies. And how do we look to a zero carbon future? And I think that's just really sort of an important message to think about. So thank you for introducing your school and your country. We're really looking forward to.
And it sounds like you guys are doing lots of really great things. So it's super inspirational already.
Exactly. And if anyone will, maybe we'll share, or if you wanted to type in the chat, the web address of your school, and then people could explore it, because it looks so cool. They have these domes with gardens, and it looks really awesome. So we'd love to share that with everyone. So thank you, Team Green, and welcome. Oh, and I see that our friends now from the Earth Day have joined, and I would love to welcome them on to say hello. And I know that they've just logged on, and so they sort of missed their welcome, but we have students here. Kathleen, I want to introduce you to our Decarbonize kids from around the world. We have students who are joining from the Philippines, I saw that our friends from Madagascar had logged in. We have India, we have Costa Rica, we have all over. I think we have almost all the continents, minus those pesky penguins. And
they never join.
They never join. And so welcome, Kathleen. How are you doing? Happy Earth Day.
Thank you. I'm sorry I was late. My connection just spun around and around and around. And so I'm so happy to be here and look at those incredible faces of today and the leaders of tomorrow. You know, I started at Earth Day. I'm president of Earth Day worldwide, and we have about 1 billion people that are going to participate in Earth Day. All of you are 100% unlikely to have been at the first Earth Day in 1970. I wasn't, but 20 million people came out on the streets. It scared the heck out of legislators. Sorry about my video. It must have something to do with my connection. I'll try it again. And to make a long story short, almost all the major environmental laws in our country were passed in the year following Earth Day in 1970. And it still remains the largest event in human history that wasn't faith-based. So 20 million people literally on the streets. Of course, the weather turned out to be great from Alaska to Hawaii to New York to Florida. But it was a pretty extraordinary event, I've heard. And Earth Day has sort of kept doing Earth Day every year and growing it to the point where we now have 1 billion people, and many, many schools around the world become engaged in Earth Day, or they're educated about Earth Day, or they learn about the environment this time of year. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here, because Earth Day has sort of gone back to its roots and are we're all leading, a great staff at Earth Day are leading a global effort to promote climate literacy in all K-12 schools, universities, graduate schools. It's our deepest belief that the environmental community has screwed up big time and not made education a major component of our work. I'm a lawyer, so I spent many, many years suing governments, appearing in courts, doing regulation and environmental laws. But I've come full circle, and I deeply believe that education is what has held our community back from making everybody a part of it. So we are hoping that the G20, the climate event in New York, in UAE that's coming up in November. That's not my feedback. I don't know if you all can hear it, but some things happen on, let me try and mute for make sure it's not me. I don't know. Oh, there it went off. So our goal is to have every K-12 school, every university, every grad school have mandated, tested environmental education, coupled with, I think this is the most important part, civic engagement, skill building, so that you can take on your governments, you can take on corporations when they're doing the wrong thing, and also support them when they're doing the right thing. And lastly, but not least, we hope that jobs, entrepreneurism, innovation, invention will be part of that education. And I'll tell you a story, which is really interesting. In the 1800s, around the world, there was no mandatory education at all. Corporations came to the US, to the EU, to every country just about that was engaged in industrializing their country, and started demanding that the US and the rest of the world educate their students. So they mandated K through 6th education as the direct result of corporations, so that we'd have people that could read and write and could move into industry and support them. I'm always a little suspect of companies. We're in the business of sort of reflecting on what corporations can do, but I do think they have it right this time. And many companies around the world are starting to demand that governments educate their students so that they can get the innovation inside their companies. I personally think that this is one of the greatest moments in history, because we have an opportunity to restructure, rethink, reinvent the planet. And education is the basic building block of doing all of this. So we are on a campaign to get countries to put it in their climate commitments, to get the G20 and the G7, Pan-African Union, et cetera, all to put education as a priority. And more important, I think, than just urging them to do it, we are actually out there actively negotiating with major funders and multilaterals to fund climate education, particularly in the global South, where they struggle just to provide an education to their students, let alone have to take on a brand new subject. But what we understand and our experience with all of these countries is their resources are being taken by the global North. Those resources are being used to create green products, and then they're going to turn around and sell it to sell those products made out of global South products. Let me turn this off again and turn it on. And so we don't want that to happen. We want the global South to be the leader of the green economy. And we deeply believe the way to get there is through education. So we've created or supported different youth delegations. And now there is a global climate education youth coalition, which we urge all of you to join. And I can give you information later on about this, but we're super excited to work with all of you and to have you be the activists and advocates for climate education in your own countries, so that you can now and in the future participate in the green economy and rebuild your countries in a way that you want it to be built. So I'm super happy to be here. Sorry about my video and late arrival. I'm clearly having tech problems.
No worries, we can hear you fine.
Okay, well, that's good. And I also thought I looked okay today. But I never know with working at home. But I am really excited to be here. I can't believe all of you are here. It's a real testament to your commitment. And I'll be here for a little while longer if you want to ask any questions, but I'll let the program go on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kathleen. I encourage everyone to go on to earthday.org and check out the way that they're connecting people around the world to really celebrate action, advocacy, education, and really encouraging people to share what they're doing. So that's that idea of finding hope in action, that from that Greta quote that I showed earlier, that it makes you, when you see others acting, it makes you feel like you're not so alone in that. And that you can see that, there's someone in Peru, or there's someone in Brazil, or there's someone somewhere around the world that is also doing the work that you're doing. And
I would also just like to say too, I can echo what you were saying. So I just met with our Canadian students last week, and their biggest demand was reforming education and climate change education. So just so you know, that is something that our students are also super focused on this year. So
yeah, I would like to jump in, just say, it's interesting in the last week. So we're going literally country by country, and you all can help us. I'm dead serious, because countries are on the verge of doing this. We just had brief conversations with the Department of Education in Canada, and like the US, in Canada, they have all these provinces that are allowed to basically do what they want as long as they educate their kids. And in the US, we have 50 different state systems. Quite a number won't even talk about climate change, if you can imagine something so retro. And even those states that are working on it don't have the resources or haven't allocated the resources to make it happen. But other countries, other cities, New York City, for example, in honor of Earth Day, just announced mandatory climate education for all the students that they control in New York City, including how to educate them on getting the jobs that they want when they graduate from college or high school. Either way, it doesn't matter whether you go to college. There's so many high-paying jobs whether it's solar or in agriculture, you name it. So it's a super exciting time, but I'm dead serious. If you all want to work with us and write letters to your representatives, your government, whatever the most appropriate vehicle for you to approach people, we'd love to help you coordinate it, because honestly, they respond to youth in a way. When I was growing up and we were protesting whatever we were protesting at the time, and it was pretty wild out there, they didn't really want to hear from us. There's a different thing going on where, whether it's the UN or companies, all want to hear from you. So we're excited about working with all of you and hoping that you'll get engaged. But sorry to jump back in here, but I know Canada is really considering it, and that's really exciting.
And it was great to see last year, as we came out of COP27, one of the directives that they put in the COP27 report and agenda was, it was in section 53. It addressed youth, and it was that youth need to be a part of delegations. So it's no longer okay to keep youth on the outside or even on the fringes. They need to be embedded. They need to be providing their feedback, and we all have feedback that we can provide. And so I think that's just so important going forward as we look to the role of youth. Action is so important, and learning is so important, but so is advising. And that's what that Jamboard that we shared earlier, we can pop it again in the comments. We're reaching out, we're surveying youth around the globe. We're gonna use that to build our manifesto as we head towards COP28 and speaking to the leaders of the planet. And we can say 30,000 youth around the planet demand this. And that is such a powerful thing. All right. Well, it's time now. Thank you so much for joining us, Kathleen, and your colleague Amy. It was wonderful to connect with you. Happy Earth Day as you celebrate it globally, and we celebrate it here with many different time zones. We're going to roll over now to our friends. Welcome the Philippines to join us as they talk about the youth action that they're doing at their school. Over to you, Philippines. It's midnight there, and they're here with us. Woohoo!
Good day, everyone, to our fellow delegates, teachers, and mentors. I am Jasmine Muniz, together with John Benedict Rivera, and we are the youth delegates from the Philippines. Our school is St. Joseph's Academy, the home of the world-famous bamboo organ, and is the oldest Catholic school in the Diocese of Parañaque, for almost 106 years old, being the Philippine Global Lead School for Climate Change, whose mission statement involves molding its members to be agents of change and are actively involved in the social issues affecting society and its environment. Next, our country is the Philippines, located in the Southeast Asia, an archipelagic country divided into 3 main islands, namely Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Our country is widely known for its exotic beaches, expansive forests, and numerous volcanoes, while the climate is characterized by relatively high temperature, high humidity, abundant rainfall, and we only consist of 2 seasons, only dry and rainy season. Meanwhile, the Philippines' climate issue is water scarcity as a consequence of rising temperature. It results in worsening of water loss and climate change, since here in our country, extreme weather events such as frequent typhoons and intense heat cause more water scarcity and pollution. Aligned with connection to the loss and damage, the growing demand for water from increasing population remains unmet. Nevertheless, despite of the said issues, there can be solutions that start off with a plan. With that, we present to you our plan, an acronym short for the Earth, meaning E, an exposure tour led by our environmental conservation organization and visiting a bee farm next week. We'll be having a first-hand experience with handling bees, thus witnessing the significance of bees as a part of biodiversity, benefiting not only the surroundings and economy, but as well as human beings. While A in Earth stands for Artivista, it is our school activity that states for environmental activism through arts. In that way, we will be featuring a fashion show, meaning fashion from recycled materials or even garbage. So in that way, we can present student contributions to climate movement with creativity as well as innovation. Next is R for resumption of climate-based curriculum. by continuing the incorporation of concepts of climate change into the subjects being taught in our school, such as science, physics, especially Laudato Si. It is a subject wherein it promotes ecological education and spirituality. While T means to continue practical ways for mitigation, such as enforcing a plastic ban and single-use plastics. It is an ordinance in our city, along with our school rule called PlayGo, meaning clean as you go, and conserving energy and electricity, which we always do in our classrooms, while practicing proper disposals and waste management. Last but not the least, the H in Earth stands for habitual actions turned into a lifestyle. By implementing the 3 R's, meaning managing waste by not creating more of it and reducing carbon footprint, because we believe that practicing Earth Hour or even Earth Day should not be just an annual activity, but rather we can implement it daily, turning it into a lifestyle. And that is how we can make a plan turn into a successive action. That is all for me. Now let us move on with my fellow delegates.
Greetings, everyone. I'm John Benedict Rivera. You can call me JB. And before I begin, I wish to greet you all a happy Earth Day. As seen above, our greatest challenge would be the widespread and collective implementation of effective mandates. These presented facts showcase the actuality of our situation here in the Philippines. With the lack of comprehensive, widespread, and collective implementation of these mandates, the issues we face continue to rise prominently. We can all agree that undoubtedly the effects of global warming continuously affect every single one of us, which is why in line with such, we decided that widespread knowledge and understanding of climate change must be executed in order for collective action and implementation to take place. Moving on to our next slide, with a given challenge, our greatest success yet would be our better integrated climate-based curriculum. Climate change is not a new phenomenon, nor is it a newly discussed topic to students. However, with its further integration into the Josephian education curriculum, more students, particularly those from the younger batches, have learned to take the matter much more gravely. The integration of a climate-based curriculum in our education helps raise awareness and ignite action among students, not as a response to it being an academic requirement, but rather because of the realization that it is everyone's moral responsibility to care for the environment. As stated by Ma'am Kathleen Rogers earlier, we concur with the fact that awareness and education are the basic building blocks that is truly essential in our pursuit of change and success as we continue to do the right thing. Moving on, with the given challenge and success, this is what's next. We all eye for a greener climate, and we've turned it into a mnemonic for us to be guided as we aim to pursue such. This is what we aim to achieve: a greener climate through greater resilience for environmentally effective nuance by enforcing realistic, collaborative, long-term initiatives for mitigating adverse temperature effects. Through forming and enforcing realistic, collaborative, long-term initiatives, we can work together to promote sustainable practices that will reduce adverse impacts on the planet while still meet our needs. With the vision and rational implementation of a greener climate, we all can aim to create a brighter future for ourselves and for the future generations to come. With the commitment and collaborative efforts of everyone, we can all participate in such, from individuals such as you and me to governments and Fortune 500 companies. We can pursue this realistic and practical solution to the challenges that we face. The goal and plan of long-term viability will help build a world that is more resilient, sustainable, and environmentally friendly. A world where we can thrive without compromising the health of our planet. Once again, that will be all from us, and we look forward to working with all of you in the near future. Once again, happy Earth Day to everyone.
Yay! Thank you so much, Philippines. As always, you guys are doing some amazing work. I just love how that trashin' show.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
That
I want to
is
see the
so
trashin' show.
Clever. I think we should have like a global, everybody hosts trashin' shows. I don't know, trash, for those who English isn't your first language, trash is another word for garbage. And so trashin', anyways.
Yeah.
I love
Super
it.
cool idea.
Way to go, guys. You're always coming up with such unique and really exciting ways to get other students involved. This isn't, like, I think part of doing action for other youth is that, you don't have to make adults happy you're interested or any of that. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
do what inspires you.
yeah, and
Yeah.
because it makes a difference. It does. We know that fast fashion
Oh,
has a
sorry.
huge impact. And so how can we make this important to students? Love it, Philippines. Thanks so much for joining and telling us all about that. Now we're only 5 minutes behind. I was worried. I had to look at the agenda while this was going on. I was like, we're gonna be so far. We're doing so great, guys. We're like awesome. So we're gonna roll over now to our friends in Argentina, invite them to tell us about what's going on and at the global school. Welcome.
Hello. Okay, so do we put the
Share
presentation? Do we share screen? Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Can you all see it?
yes, it looks great.
Good.
Okay, so hello everybody. Happy Earth Day. We're Ampi and Chiara, and this is our presentation. This is our Decarbonize team. We're 12 students from 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, and we attend to the global school in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
This is a little bit about our country. We're from Argentina, and this is our flag. We have some beautiful and wide ecosystems, from hills to glaciers. We drink mate all day. We're huge fans of football, and last year we won the World Cup, and we're still celebrating. Here's a picture for when more than 4 million of Argentinians gather at the obelisk to celebrate the victory. Tango is our national dance, and it's a national symbol.
This year in Argentina, there was a heavy heat wave. The temperatures reached around 42 degrees Celsius, and because of these high temperatures, the droughts were like more often and like to a point where you could go to your backyard and the grass would be completely dry. During the summer, it rained 1 or 2 times, which is really uncommon. Some of our previous topics were wildfires. Last year and in 2021, the wildfires affected all across the country, like many provinces. It affected mostly to Catamarca, La Rioja, Corrientes, Córdoba, San Luis, Santa Fe, Santiago del Estero, Buenos Aires, and Misiones. And as we all know, the droughts are really connected with wildfires because with one issue comes the other issue.
Our plan. Our main action from our action plan was changing our school canteen into a more eco-friendly one. Every day, hundreds of waste were thrown into the ground because of small trash cans and also the misorganization of the people. But mostly because every student eating used a polystyrene food container, plastic bottle, disposable utensils, and another smaller food container. We managed to change it by changing all single-use plastic into reusable plastic.
This year we had a lot of challenges, and some of them were that we had to convince the owner of the canteen to change the containers to reusable ones, the sustainable ones. We had to make sure that the containers were back, and for that we created a form to keep track of the return containers. And finally, we had to make sure that the parents accepted this proposal because it takes a lot of responsibility.
Our largest success was changing the school canteen into a more eco-friendly one. Before, a lot of waste was thrown into the ground, and this waste was purely polystyrene containers and plastic utensils. We managed to change part of this waste with reusable containers and metal utensils. We reduced the waste, and now the trash containers are no longer exploded of waste.
These are some of our ideas for the future. We want to expand our canteen proposal to primary. We also want to make a plant wall, implement a waste management plan, organize Earth Day celebration for raising awareness in our community, celebrate Oceans Day, organize a day out to work on a communal garden, and finally collect money for COP28. Thank you for listening and happy Earth Day.
Yay! Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to see just the amazing work that each of our schools are doing. And I'm always so inspired by how you're taking the messages in the program in the learning and turning it into action that makes your schools, your communities better. So thank you so much for all that you are doing.
Also so wonderful to see how supportive your school is of each other in the chat. It like makes me so happy just to watch you guys hype each other up.
Yep, there's a lot of
Yes.
and we like to see that. We love the friendliness. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into breakout rooms, and we want you to share like we've just heard our friends sharing here. So we're going to spend about 20 minutes in the breakout rooms just talking about what's your school doing? What are things you want to do? What have you heard that are great ideas? All that sort of amazing youth action stuff. There'll be teachers in every room that'll help sort of monitor the conversation. So teacher, if you get into a room and there's no other teachers, you're the teacher. And so we'll be helping you sort of facilitate this. If you want to take turns and talk about what you're doing, that would be great. Time to share. We have 20 minutes total, so you don't get 10 of it. You all have to take, and then if there's more time, you can come back and say, oh, we have another thing we're doing. And so maybe focus on one and then let someone else share, and then you go back. Now, if you are with, want to present with other people. So I know that the Philippines, we got a lot of people joining from home because it's 12:42 at night, in the morning, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
It is late.
It's
And
late.
so if you want to stay with your country or other members that are on different joining from their homes, just stay here in the main room. Don't accept the invite, because we're going to randomly shoot you off. And then we'll sort of put you in places but if you're totally cool to just chat, or you're in a school with your classmates, then just accept the breakout room and we will see you in a few minutes. Does that make sense? Amazing, Rebecca, all right.
So hang out here if you're worried about losing the rest of your group, and we will send you off together. You don't have to accept it.
All right. How do we make it go?
It should be going.
Oh,
Are they
it's going.
leaving?
Yeah, you're leaving. Okay,
Oh yeah, look at them popping away.
Say yes, say yes.
Good luck on your presentations. We'll see how many of you guys hang out behind. See who we got here. I think Philippines looks like they're hanging out in Argentina. Maybe we could clump them together.
Hello, and we have our friends too. We have a lot of friends that are still here.
Yeah, they're working on it.
Yeah.
Click on the join button. It's coming along. Okay. All right, and I do, oh no, yeah, I still see one from Kenya, but maybe just Kenya. Are you guys wanting to stay in one group together, Mary? Okay, so we can make sure that Kenya gets in one break.
Or they can all stay here.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
How are they looking?
All right. So
yeah, they look good.
Welcome everyone. Oh, we've got some mixy mixes. We'll probably duck out in a second here to check on the other rooms to make sure everyone has a teacher and that we're doing well. But welcome. We're going to keep some of you here in the main room because this is what's being live streamed to YouTube. So we want to have, we don't want just blank space. We have our friends from Brazil joining in YouTube, and we have friends from Trinidad to Tobago. Ooh, did not get that two T's out very well. They're also on YouTube. So on YouTube, if you want to chat with us here in this main room, please do just add your comments, what you're doing, what excited things you have planned, all that into the comments on the chat on live stream, and we will bring them back over here. But for the other friends who are here in this room, we would love to hear, oh, our friends from Madagascar are here. Bienvenue, bienvenue, bonjour. Happy Earth Day. Oh, how do I say that in French?
I don't know. Happy Earth Day in French.
You know, my French, I need to go get my son because he is fluent. I am not. Welcome. Okay. So who would like to share first? We heard from our wonderful friends in the Philippines. We have our agriculture greenhouse class. How are you all doing? Where are you joining us from? It's slipping my mind. Good morning.
Sorry, Sarah, do you have teachers in each of the breakout rooms?
We're just checking that behind the scenes.
Okay, good. If not, I can go just one by one if you want.
I don't know, so.
Yeah. All right. So our friends who are here in this room, who would like to talk about the work that they are doing? Who they are? Your students are out. Brian's are out. This is a lot of teachers. Our friends from Madagascar, I'm going to put you in a room because and our agriculture greenhouse class. Do we know who this is? Hello, agriculture greenhouse class. I see you. How are you? Who are you? You're leaving, but I don't know who you are. All right.
All right.
Bonjour.
Mystery class.
Bonjour Madagascar. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? Oh, I think their internet is just not. All right. Good. So do we have any students in this room besides our Philippine students? Because we might send them off. We'd rather have our friends learning and hearing. Okay, let's do that. Do we want to assign
The
these?
Philippines? They should already be in one. They just have to, oh, I see. Let's put them all into room. There's one that room 5 seems a little empty. So let's move you guys all to room 5.
Is this agriculture greenhouse class?
I don't know. Philippines. I gotta
Like
find
I've
all of your
seen them
names here.
moving.
Room 5. Okay, so Philippines, you should be getting a notification to join
Yeah,
room
they did.
5. You're welcome to move there.
And how about Elfna's? Okay,
You're already in room 5. I think we've got most of you. Irene is not with you, but I can move her.
So Gule, how is Turkey? How are you doing? Yes. How are you? How is Turkey? We have been very worried about you. How is your school? Were they okay in the earthquake?
I don't know if she can hear us very
Can
well.
you hear me? 1 minute, yes.
Are we able to, if we go here, will they come with us?
No. Agriculture greenhouse class. Ah, yes.
Okay. I am fine. My school and my teachers, my students are good.
Yes.
Another? Başka ne diyeyim? How are you?
Good. How was your school damaged in the earthquake?
Okulun şeyde hasar aldı mı diyor şey.
No. Ankara'da olmadı ama. No Ankara.
Okay.
It's far, yes.
Yeah, away. It's a very difficult time for your country. We hope that things are looking better. Yeah.
Ülkeniz Mali'ye gidiyor bu tarz bir şey.
Efendim?
Ülkeniz Mali'ye gidiyor bu tarz bir şey.
I hope, yes.
Yes. And Mary, how is Kenya?
Mary.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Mary?
Sorry, I'm late. I got caught up in 1 or 2 things. So at the time when I was coming in, I just couldn't join any room, but I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah.
Kenya is good. We are really doing good. Yeah, we are about to go back to school after the 2 weeks break. Exams are on, so I'm glad we even managed to do this because Ian is doing exams, Laura is doing exams, everybody's doing exams right now, but we are fine. Hi, Rebecca.
How are you?
Hi.
Sorry, I'm over here like moving people around in breakout rooms. It's wonderful to see you.
Yeah, I think I can join the team, St. Austin's team. So
okay. You guys might be a little
sorry, can you put me in room 5? So sorry.
No worries. Lena would like room 5. We're trying agriculture greenhouse class. There's this class right now in this room, and I see the students. There's a boy with a white hat on. Where are you joining from? Can you hear me? Yeah? Nope. We would love to put, you look so bored. I would love to put you in a room to talk with other students. But I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe they can't hear us.
Maybe you can hear us. Oh, if you can hear us, let us know in the chat where you're joining from and what you're doing. We would love to help you out there. So we have a few more minutes. Oh, Laura's joining from Kenya. Yay.
Fine. Oh.
Okay, I think I've done the best I can. I hope we're all with our groups.
There's still
I had assigned all of the
Taya.
Egyptians to room
Taya?
4. So
do you want to go?
Taya, you should be in room 4 with the rest of the Egyptian students if you're still waiting.
Can you hear us?
That's another school in Egypt.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
well, I don't
My
see
school
any other
is
people with their names Egypt.
Do you know one other student name who's here? They just didn't put their school or their country.
Zena.
Do you know?
Zena.
Sorry, what's that?
Zena. ZEI.
Yes, that's room 4.
Okay.
So should be in room 4.
So if you get a note to go to room 4, just hit accept. If you need, we can reset it, but we'd have to send you to a different room and then send you back to 4.
Okay.
Hello, Patricia at St. Austin. How are you? You were
I'm
saying
fine.
earlier, and we had to mute you because we were in the middle of something else. But it's no problem.
It was actually a mistake. I thought it was our turn, so sorry.
Oh,
That's
no,
okay.
it's no problem at all. It's wonderful that you joined us. Would you like to go into the room, one of the rooms, and speak with the other students?
Yeah, sure.
From Kenya.
Let me find one of you.
Ian was somewhere. Oh, there's Laura.
Okay, we are room 2.
Room 2.
Put me in room 2 also, Rebecca.
Certainly.
Thank you.
I hope that we're all where we need to be. Oh, I see one random Philippine school here. I don't know where I put the rest of you. Looks like room 5.
I think some of them are. Oh, another friend from Turkey. And to our friends who are joining on YouTube. Oh, Danny's there. Hello, Danny. It's so wonderful to see you. Did you, should I send you the link for the real thing? We have a few more minutes here in the, in our breakout groups, and then we'll come back together. We just did not have anyone staying in our rooms.
In room 7. Somebody break.
We will be
Wow.
Not east and west and the Atlantic
Welcome.
Ocean.
We
Hello,
are
can you hear me?
just welcome
right,
back,
so-
everyone.
Yeah.
Hello.
So, hello.
Hello, Modu. How are you doing? Welcome. Thanks
Yes,
for
thank you.
from Gambia. What time is it there for you, sir?
Is 2 minutes to 4 p.m.
Oh, that's
2
not
minutes
bad.
to 4.
Yeah, that's not midnight.
Yeah, we have some students from the Philippines, and it's like 1 a.m. now. Oh, how?
Yes, I've been come late because what I was trying to connect with my laptop, but badly my laptop, the connection on my
Technology.
laptop is very, very poor. So yeah, so right now I'm using my phone.
Oh,
So
well,
I almost forgot about this thing. I just saw the email 1 hour before the
no worries.
program
Welcome. We
because
have our
these
friends
days I've
here.
been doing an internship in one of the Ministry of Communication. So I totally forgot.
No worries.
Yeah.
Welcome,
So
welcome.
yeah, I
We're
just
just
wanna
gonna
just give a brief about how we are working on climate change in the Gambia.
Okay, just
Yeah,
one. We're just coming back. I'm gonna welcome everyone back, and then we will have some time to share from Gambia in a little bit. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you had some wonderful conversations. I'm going to put a few teachers here on the spot to kind of give a little recap of what they heard and what they were learning about tennis. I know you were in a room. Would you mind sharing a bit about the conversation that happened in your room? You were room 4 or 5? I can't remember.
Hard for me to remember. There was a lot of moving.
There was a lot of moves.
Oh yeah, in room 2 there was a lot happening. Like the students were talking about each of the schools.
Wonderful. That's so
Like,
great.
they were
Thanks.
talking about how they did to improve like recycling in the school and stuff. And it
true.
was a lot of fun, and they were even sharing their IGs on Instagram, and we got to know each other better. But I got, unfortunately, 2 minutes before the meeting ended, so I could not really be into the conversation.
Oh,
yeah.
well, thanks. Thanks so much for sharing what they talked about in your room. That's great. Thanks so much. All right. Tennis, over to you. What did they share in your room?
I took over a little bit because I realized Irene was in our room initially, so I grabbed Sean out of math class again to kind of so that they could talk about COP27. And I'm like, come back.
Yeah.
And so we did just kind of an overcap of their experiences a little bit, just because it was a unique opportunity for the two of them there. And then answered some questions about the process of #Decarbonize, like how we meet and what they recommended. And also, and also they talked about what they can do with what they learned from #Decarbonize and how the training has made such a difference in their life afterwards, like even after being a part of the program. So we talked a little bit about that. Yeah.
So great. Is there any other teachers?
Kiara has her hand up.
Kiara, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to say that here is like our lunch break right now. So we can leave to have lunch and then I'll connect back if I have time.
Sounds good. Annapurna.
I was in room 5 and we had Kenya presenting. I think one of the members of the Kenyan team was there and she was confident of presenting herself and she did that. They spoke about the tree planting that they were doing on an ongoing process in their school and in the community and etc. And they also spoke about some challenges that they faced in the paper recycling project that they were working on as regards funding for that and things like that. And they also spoke about, mostly to do with the segregation, where paper collection and all the other segregation of the waste and things like that. So they spoke about all of them. And we had one more person from Egypt who needed his team. So I asked him to get back to his team. No, ask you to request you to bring his team also to our room. But I think he left and he didn't come back. And the
Egypt
Gambia
was quite spread out.
yes, and Gambia actually he started his presentation, and I think there was a message which said leave the room. Probably he would have clicked that, and then he got out of it immediately.
Yeah,
He
we
began
said that he
speaking
could.
about the about climate change resilience, and it just began about it, but couldn't
Wonderful.
complete.
Yeah, we'll have another chance. We'll have a few more minutes at the end to sort of go back and be like, okay, now's the time to share. We really got to get
Okay.
So
And I had a
yes,
wonderful conversation with Violet from Philippines.
amazing.
As to what they were
Great.
doing. The entire team was there, and the excellent fashion show that they put up was outstanding, really.
Very
Really.
cool.
Okay. So
Amazing.
that's about
So
from
great.
me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for all of you for sharing with each other, for inspiring each other, for sharing with us and inspiring us. I know that a lot of times you think that your teachers or even we run this program that we know all of this or that we've done all this before, but really you teach us as well. Like I can 100% guarantee that if you turn to all of your teachers, they would say they learn as much from you as you were learning from them. And so thank you for sharing your thoughts and your feelings and your hopes and your passions and all of that. Now, kind of similar to what the questions that were in Tanis's group, we're going to be going just for a few minutes over, well, what does Decarbonize even do? What are we doing here? What's the next steps? And so we want to sort of give you a preview of what's to come. So this year, every year we have a theme. 2020 it was water, 2019 it was decolonization, last year's agriculture, and this year our theme is energy futures. And what does that mean? Well, we're looking at IPCC put out their report just last month, and it, again, stating how integral, how desperate the situation was for us to meet that 1.5 degree target and how it's soon getting out of reach. And so what we need to do is drastic changes in industry, in governments, in every country. And some of it's more than just what goes on in our homes. It's how do we look at energy use around the world. We know that there are still 800 million people without electricity in this world, and we need electricity and heat and running water are foundations to our community. And so we still need to get those people on the grid, but how do we do that? And our energy use is up in terms of our use of technology. So how do we do all those meet all those needs, but without burning more fossil fuels, more coal, opening up more plants, which seems to be really something that governments are having a hard time moving away from, and imagining new energy futures. But the brilliant part about being a youth is that you can imagine these things. You aren't stuck in a pathway where you're like, no, we have to do it this way because that's the way it's always been done. And I can't imagine like all these other things having to shift. As a youth, you can be like, this is the future that I see. And it's going to be different for each country. And that's why we put plural, because it's not one future. The energy future for Canada and for Alberta looks even much different than from Ontario, which is on the other side of our country. And our energy future looks much different from Kenya's or from Brazil's or Argentina's. And we all have our own future in terms of energy. But we want to look at that. What is our renewables like in our country? How can we encourage our school, our community to start investing in that technology, investing in us, or well, you as youth, to see that future and embody that future. So that's our theme this year. We're really excited. It's a huge theme of the UAE as they look to, and our host school and sustainable cities, look to how can we change the way we live our lives, even in urban. environments. How can we change that and empower ourselves to think differently? I cannot change this.
Oh, yeah.
So a quick little look at here are all of our amazing schools. Here are you guys. We're all over. We're over 73 countries now. Gambia just joined a few months ago. They made 73. And so we're still looking to have more conversations with more countries that are just, this is really, if you know someone who is in another school, another country, another teacher, if you know a government official, they love to connect people into these huge networks. So send them our way. Send them to the website. We would love to bring on more schools, more countries. This is our path this year. It's a little meandering because that's education. That's us. As you can tell from how I talk, I go all over the place. I'm not really path dependent. And so this is how we will wander through our activities, because all of you have different school years. We all take different times to get to stages. So you'll see that activity 1, which is ready to go on our Flipgrid. Oh, we'll put the Flipgrid in the chat here in 2 seconds. So it's ready to go on our Flipgrid. You can start doing the activities now. Now, this intro activity is about telling your climate story, telling your energy story. What's your carbon footprint? What does it look like in terms of your country, in terms of other schools? So you'll be looking at videos from kids all over the world are going to post about their energy and their use in their country.
And, you know, honestly, that's the key thing too, is that we all have different energy futures, but we can all learn from each other. So even though all of our countries have different needs and different wants as far as energy futures, we also have a lot in common. That's what I hear most from you all when you share your stories with each other, is get that inspiration and get those ideas from each other by sharing those ideas on the Flipgrid.
So we want to see those videos. Start posting now, start watching each other's videos now. We have a long time to do this. Some schools are already just started their school year kind of, and others are just finishing. But you know what? We overlap in this area. Again, the global survey, you'll see right there in the middle, it's going to be launched right away. We can always do art. You'll see a little slide about that. And then in the fall, we'll open up our activity for bilaterals. We're shifting for those who have participated in the past. We did everything in the fall. This year, we're really going to elongate. We're feeling stressed post-COVID. Everybody's feeling so stressed. And so what we're going to do, make bilaterals in the fall, and that's going to lead into our manifesto writing, November 3rd to 5th. Already have the weekend chosen. You can sign up on the Flipgrid now to participate. You can be in now for that manifesto writing, for our global manifesto, as we lead to Dubai, to our friends at Fairgreen for COP28, where right now the dates are the 1st to the 12th. That is very tentative. Very tentative. So we're actually, our friends, so we're actually, depending on COI, which is the Conference of Youth, hosted by the youth or a branch of the UN climate change group. So depending on those dates, we might move around. And so don't book an airplane ticket yet, but if you are interested in coming right away, we're going to share the link on how to apply to be a student delegate at our Youth Leadership Summit at COP28. And this year we have so many more leadership opportunities. We are going to be doing more live from COP events. We're going to be doing greater work with our schools. We're going to be able to go into schools and visit schools. There's all these amazing opportunities that we'd love to get you involved in, love to have you all trained up. We go and do mock COPs. It's super fun. Check out the TikToks that were posted last year. That's so
Some of you, I think, in your breakout rooms had a couple students that were able to come to COP27 last year. So if you heard great things about COP27, COP28 Leadership Summit is going to be even bigger and better than that. So we're super excited for it.
And if you think that you're going to want to be a global lead, one of our students who's given an accredited pass to go into the UN and speak to the world leaders in the UN, now is the time to download the application, because this year we've changed it in that we have a few questions on why do you want this? We've had so much over the last few years interest in students wanting to be those leads that we felt that our selection process needed to mature. And so now we have a few questions. I saw our friend Addie from Egypt already filled it out. And so you can go in there now, you can download the questions so you can think about it for a while. You can upload your answers, you can change your answers over the next few months. Again, it's all very sort of loosey-goosey. So, but you do need to complete it if you want to be a global lead. And then we're going to have COP, we're going to have our live from COP, so it's going to be amazing. And then we're going to worry about continentals into next year. So into January, February, Marchish, that's when we're going to do our continentals. And so it's going to give us some breathing room next year in the project. So here's our Flipgrid. We have to get the link in. Okay.
if you look for it, I can go
You-
ahead and
yeah.
chat about it. So the Flipgrid is a new platform that we're using this year. I know you're used to using our classroom, but this is great because it's focused around short videos. And we know that youth love making TikToks, making content, making videos. So we thought this was a great transition. So when you get on the Flipgrid, you'll see that we are going to be uploading our activities onto the Flipgrid, just like we used to upload them onto the classroom. And then you can upload and share all of your responses and ideas. And it's really easy to quickly watch Sarah's video from Canada and post a response, watch Ian's video from Kenya, watch Irene's video from the Philippines, and share those ideas and make those connections with people faster and easier than we were ever able to do it before. So we're going to pop the link in the chat just now. If you have your device with you, you can go ahead and join it and get started. The first thing in there's one activity about introducing yourself. And then we have our first learning activity on there as well. So today it would be great if we could get all of your little clips introducing yourself and letting us know where you're from.
And I think I might have put a QR code.
Oh, sweet.
Let's see. I did upload your first video today. Woo-hoo! So if you've got your little device, view it with your camera, get the link and you can go straight in. There's no code to join. You know, there's always this idea that it's hard to be the first one to post, but if you are, it's so great because then everyone gets to look and comment and see. And we really want to encourage you to comment on other people's videos. So if you just like, hey, great job, thanks for sharing. That's really similar to what I see here. This is your opportunity to have those conversations, but just sort of in Instagram format, right? Where we're doing sort of comments. I think it really sort of helps us build this community ahead of all of our collaborations and meeting on these meetings and meeting even potentially in person, is building that community online where we're supporting each other and we're listening to each other and we're really growing as people towards a common energies future.
And I already see we've already got 7 of you on there already. So you guys are hopping on. It's good to see.
Love it. All right. So again, here is just another really overview. Teachers, you're going to receive a link. This year, we're doing a teacher support website. So you'll see all these pictures are coming from our teacher support website. You'll have links to the activities. You'll have outlines of it. It's all coming soon. Art, global climate survey, all of that will be here in the next sort of week and a half. We'll be launching it to you. So what's this manifesto thing? What's this manifesto thing, Rebecca?
So the manifesto is how we take all of these ideas that we gathered from our global survey and we get the youth to put them together into the paper that we can present at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in the fall. So it's all totally based on your ideas. It's totally based on your writing. Whatever you think are your key important demands for our governments, those are what's making it into the paper.
And that's why it's important to do the learning activities, because maybe something is already happening in your country, and this allows you the opportunity to showcase that. So in Alberta, we could say we're leading methane industrial reclamation processes, but we need to improve this. And this is what governments in Canada need to look at. But that's going to be different in Argentina. And they're going to have priorities and strengths and weaknesses that they need to articulate. So we want this isn't going to be an IPCC report. They're the ones that put out the scientific reports with all the graphs and the data and the blah, blah, blahs. This is going to be a passion piece, but that is educated and that talks and acknowledges what's already going on. So we need it to not just be a call to action, but an educated call to action, because that's the strength of it, right? And so we want you to do research from your friends and your peers with the survey, but also do that bilateral research that gets you to know what's actually going on in your country and how do you need to change. So that's the manifesto. We take it, we'll have QR codes, you can spread it all over. It'll be amazing. We'll be presenting this all over. This is your voice.
And if you want to know what a manifesto looks like, we do have last year's up on the screen that you can scan and take a look at. So you kind of have an idea. If you want to sign up for the manifesto writing that's happening in November, you kind of get an idea of what sort of paper we're trying to put together.
And then the Student Leadership Summit. So as we were saying, some of the students were sharing earlier, I know we have some of those amazing kids who are at last year's. Irene is on the call. Ian's on the call. We have...
I see Juana and Chiara from Argentina.
Yeah, and totally.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of our friends all of our friends from Egypt that are joining, or Salma, all of them were there at this amazing summit, and we've gone now for many years. And you can see here, I have pictures of COP all the way from COP in Poland, and our friend Yolanta is on the call, who hosted us, her school hosted us when we were in Poland. And we're just so excited to build towards another COP in COP 28. And so the Student Leadership Summit, there are opportunities for scholarships. So if you would like to be one of the students that's considered for a scholarship, it's better to apply early than to apply late. You can always say, it's not going to work for me to come, but it's difficult for us to take you into the scholarship late, if that makes sense. You want to apply as early as you can if you need to be considered. And so we will have the program online. You'll build skills in advocacy, in public speaking, in last year there was maybe some singing skills, some dance.
We did some debating skills. If you watch a couple of our TikToks, you'll see a couple heated mock COP negotiations that we had.
But there's also time for cultural exchange. This is your chance, an opportunity to meet students from around the world and stay up late and eat candy and all those wonderful things that happen at a student exchange. And so it's both a cultural component, and we'll learn about Dubai, we'll visit places in Dubai, but also very much, how do you start making change in climate now? You don't have to wait. You don't have to be our age. Well, she's
our age.
I tried to group me in with her, but you don't have to be a teacher. You don't have to be an adult. You can make change now. You can influence now. It's an amazing time to be involved. And so that is again on www.decarbonize. Oh, and there's another QR code.
I should be going faster to the QR code slide.
I'm also going to put the website.
The other great thing is, if anybody talks to Oliver from Canada that came last year, he met so many climate activists from around the world. I think he came back with more contacts than everybody else combined. So if you're thinking you want to join the climate fight, you want to do this when you get out of school, an amazing opportunity to meet people that are doing that all around the world and make those connections, and also get advice on what the best steps are to join the climate fight.
And there are a lot of opportunities for scholarships. There's a lot of opportunities for sponsorship and for grants. So if you're looking to make change in your community, I know we had a student who came back from Edmonton, from Poland, and she wanted to put compost bins in all of the schools. And she had this ambitious target, and she learned how to write grants. And at our meetings, and then she put in a grant to a local agency, and they gave her $30,000 to buy compost bins for all of the schools in her school district. This amazing project that started at COP by an idea when she was talking to another student. So there's all these opportunities we'd love to share with you. And now this is something new that we're starting this year to help with fundraising. And we're focusing, we're just launching it. It's just in the primary stages. But if this is something that you think your school might be interested in using as a fundraising activity, we're going to try it this year, see how it goes. Our friends in Kenya already have a very strong reforestation program that they use as part of their action. And so we're going to try to partner with them and help to use it as using a carbon emission offset money to help supply their trees that they then plant. And there'll be a portion of that funds that are in the sponsorship that go to the trees, but also that go to student action and supporting students participating in Decarbonize. And so if this is something that you think might work in your community, amazing. We'd love to get your school involved as well. Again, we're piloting. We don't know. It might work, it might not. But this is all as we try to think of ideas of fundraising. Maybe you have an amazing fundraising strategy that got you to COP. Let's share it. Let's, how can we all help with these costs? And so that's something we're going to try. Art. We need your art. We want your art. We would love to share. This is always open. So Earth Day is here. Do you have students, do you have classes that are doing art? We would love to see it. You can we have the links here on our website on where you can find to submit it, but you can also just email us. We would love to just see your art and get your art. And as you saw in COP, I don't know if we shared those photos this round, but we had a display at each of the COPs. We have a display where we have a showcase of the art from around the world that students produce. And I really like to believe, I truly believe that it makes an impact. Then when negotiators are going into rooms to make decisions and they see a picture, a painting from our friend friend in Peru, we have one who was 5 years old who submitted, and he was afraid of running out of water in his community. And his painting sort of was a boy at a tap, and it's dripping and there's no water, and he has a tear in his eye. And I really think that when a negotiator is going into a room and sees that picture, it embeds in their subconscious, and it influences their decision and how they're speaking and how they're making choices in terms of policies. I might be naive, but I truly believe that.
You're not, though. You should have seen the impact that the art had in the Blue Zone this year. I know Sarah's busy carrying around a bunch of babies. She probably didn't get time to take a look at the art as much as we did, but we had so many people coming up to us and saying how impactful it was, trying to buy the art. It was a huge hit. So if you are an artist or you want to be an artist, you're all artists. Share that work, we'll print it, we'll bring it with us, and then it gets on the global stage for everybody to see.
We're also looking for a Decarbonize logo. So we've been asking for a while, and I think people are just a little nervous that they don't have, but what we've done before is had a student provide a piece of art, and then we gave it to an Indigenous artist who turned it into a logo. So they inspired the logo. And what we'd love to do that again. So send in your art, and it might become the new Decarbonize logo. We're looking for one this year.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
almost done, almost done. More beautiful art. Commit to act. Okay. Finally, this is my drum roll. The Commit to Act app is ready. Ooh, we've been promising this for about 3 years. I know it's been a long journey, but that is app development, that it is like crazy long. It takes crazy long to do. And so what the Canadian government has provided some sponsorship funds that have allowed us with our friends at Taking It Global to develop an app that tracks your climate impact. And so you can challenge each other. We can have a huge Decarbonize challenge. We can go school versus school, country versus country, or we could just be like amazingness all together, and tracks your climate impact. So your actual GHG. So what are we doing? It's not just, I mean, feel-good projects are amazing. Educational projects, amazing. I saw the Argentinian, the global school had done a project where they went into an elementary class and they taught them about climate, and they did this amazing like handprint earth, and it was so beautiful, and all that's important. I'm not saying it's not, but what also is important is learning the actual numerical impacts of the action you're taking, because that says something. That's like, no, we're not just doing something, we're doing something. And so it challenges others to react the same. And so you can take that to your school board and be like, this is what we've done. What have you done? And so
yeah, I'll chat about it a little bit. Our friend Liam from Taking It Global really wanted to come and present this to you, but he did give me a couple points he wanted me to share. So I'll go over it a little bit with you all. I did pop the link into the chat for you guys to join one of our groups. When you click on it, it's going to ask you to make an account. It's super quick and easy to make an account. It works really well if you already have a Google account. You can log in through Google, and then that's all done for you. When you get onto the app, you will be welcomed with a dashboard. So the cool thing is that it shows you how much CO2 you saved, how much total you saved, and what that impact is. And this is just in the first step. So this app is just going to be getting bigger and better the more that we use it. So when we get on here, we can go to log a new action. Now, this is my challenge for everyone today. I want everyone, when they make their account today, to log a plant-based meal. There's actually a challenge going on right now, and it ends tomorrow on Earth Day. So you have a day to get as many meals in here as possible. And I want to see that we are all logging a plant-based meal, because we know that eating meat produces a lot of methane, takes up a lot of water, produces a lot of carbon. So eating a plant-based meal is a really, really good individual action that we can take. So what I'll do is I'll click on that plant-based meal. I'll choose the date that I ate. So let's say I ate it today, and it's going to give me a little fact. Now, the nice thing about this app is that it keeps us accountable. It doesn't just let us log a bunch of stuff and not even think about our action. It's always going to give us a little fact that we have to remember so that we know what the importance of that action is. So this one is talking about the first plant to be grown in space in 1982. Then we can go ahead and log our actions. So today I ate one plant-based meal, oatmeal for breakfast, and then it's going to ask you to upload an image. So the best thing to do is to have those images already on your computer so you can upload and share that picture. There's really cool AI that actually takes a look at that picture and says, is there a plate? Is there a bowl? Is there food? Is there veggies? Does it actually look like a plant-based meal? And if the AI says it's okay, it's going to let you go ahead and submit that. Now, here's where this is important. Were we paying attention? What was the first plant grown in space? Hopefully I was reading. It was fail crests. We're going to submit that quiz. Now we get some bonus points. We're going to go ahead and submit that action. Now, since I didn't upload a picture, it's probably not going to let me submit it, but it's going to go ahead and submit that action. And it's going to let you know what your CO2 saved is. Now with that link that I put in the chat, and we can pop it in again in a minute here, it's going to let you join our Decarbonize group. So if I go to my dashboard, I should be able to see my groups. I see the Decarbonize team down here. And all of us will actually be on this group together. So we can see as a group how much carbon dioxide we saved. We can compete against each other. And this way we can actually see what we're all doing as a whole. So that generally is how the app works. It takes a little bit of practice and getting used to, but we want you guys to try it. We want you to give us your feedback, because we're actually going to use this app as one of the ways that we see which youth we actually want to represent us at COP28. So if you are a youth that wants to come to our summit and wants to be a lead youth, you got to be using the app, because this is how we share what we're doing and how we connect with each other online and do that stuff together. So I am just going to one more time put that screen up that shows some of the login information. And that's all that I got to tell you guys about it.
Amazing. We're so excited to finally be able to launch this app. It's been a long time coming. You guys have been very patient, because we tested a bunch. We tested one and it like totally failed, and we had to start again. And that is app development. But this, we hope, is going to be the final version. We're moving forward. We're so excited to be able to help you guys actually quantify. It's not just sort of an esoteric thing like, yeah, I'm making a difference. Like, no, look, I'm making a difference. And that's so exciting to be able to do. All right. We're going to spotlight a few. We are running. Now we're running late, but we have a few more students and schools we want to spotlight. So we're going to invite quickly our friends from Egypt over to you. No introduction needed. Our amazing students who joined us or who hosted us in COP27. Well, I guess they joined us because they're from Cairo and we were in. But
hosted us in their country.
In their hearts, they hosted us. Our friends from Metropolitan School here. Lena, anyone?
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Hi, Sama. How are you?
So would you like me to share my screen?
Yes, please do.
Perfect. Okay. Oops. I lost the presentation. 1 second.
We do like that you've joined the app and the classroom, though. You're setting a good example for everyone.
This is what everybody's computer screen should look like right now.
Yeah. Okay, I found it.
Yay!
So I'm in Metropolitan School. My name is Salma Kaf for everyone. I want to say that after my school and I joined COP27 with Decarbonize last year, we came back and we launched a Go Green program, which is a huge success so far. It's amazing. We had Ramadan just now, so we hosted like an iftar tournament where everyone did some projects. They took waste and they made something out of it. We raised a lot of money so we found a lot of places that were empty, so we decided to plant plants. It was really nice. And we are raising a lot of awareness for parents and kids, presentations every now and then, so that they include every small thing into their routine. It's important. Our country, Egypt, just a small introduction for whoever doesn't know much about it. It's a country in North Africa. Its borders are with the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. It includes parts of the Nile, and the Nile runs south to north. It actually goes through Sudan, Ethiopia, if you know any of these countries. And the most famous one, I'm assuming, is that Egypt has one of the world's earliest and greatest civilizations. It's very interesting. You can never get enough of it. And I really recommend going to the Egyptian Museum if you ever come here. It's very nice. This is the unfortunate part of the presentation. Our biggest challenge here in Egypt are heat waves and sea level rise. And these happen because of pollution and waste. there is a lot of plastic waste, a lot of food waste, especially towards the Nile. And that always leads to heat waves and sea level rise. And that affects Egypt's economy, food insecurity, and of course, health and well-being. A huge example is the Nile. Recently, sea level rise affected the Nile, and that affected a lot of people since most of the population depend on the Nile. But we have a lot of plans and we have a lot of plans for the future and currently in the process. A lot of agreements with developed countries have happened. We've hosted the UN COP27 in 2022. And my favorite is that the World Bank approved a $200 million project for Egypt so that they can improve air quality, combat climate change, and they reduce emissions of air pollutants and global warming. There's a lot of hope. And of course, there's a lot of success, a lot of achievement in mitigating happened. We've doubled wind energy lately, which is great. And a lot of infrastructure for flood control happened. And we've building desalination plants because for the water and the Nile. And finally, for the future, there is the new capital that is getting built currently. And hopefully it's going to be full of sustainable things. It's going to be full of technology. Life is going to be easier and more healthy. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Yay, thank you so much. You know, Salma has been such an advocate of her country and of the climate work that they're doing. She's volunteered. She came and spoke at our World Water Day event as well. And this is an opportunity. If you are interested in learning public speaking, practicing public speaking, send us an email. We would love to host you at one of our other events. World Water Day, World Oceans Day,
Food Day,
World Bee Day. We have so many events where we bring schools together from around Canada, across the world. And if you'd like to talk about what's going on in your country, we would love to host you. This is a part of building your capacity as students, as people, as your futures. So if you're interested in sharing like Salma just did, and she did at some of our other events as well, please let us know. We'd love to give you that spotlight and build those skills for you.
I wanted to do something quickly because I know that some of our schools do have to log off, but we really wanted to get a picture with all of us here today. So what my ask of you is, turn your camera on just for 1 quick minute. We'll make sure we all look great. And we're going to do our Decarbonize cheer so that I can get a good picture of everybody joining today. So I'll just give you like 30 seconds, get your camera on, get going.
It also gets us pumping again.
Get excited, do some jumping jacks. Sarah's going to count us down and we're going to do a Decarbonize cheer. You're welcome to unmute and Decarbonize cheer. And we can hear everybody go at once. And I wanted to get a good picture of it.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Decarbonize!
Decarbonize!
Happy Earth Day. We'll do one again because we need other screens. 3, 2, 1.
Decarbonize.
Decarbonize. You guys have been so amazing. It's been a long meeting and you've stuck it out. And we're just going to invite one last school to present and then we're going to go into our breakout rooms. Now, when we go into breakout rooms, I'm going to open them up right at the end of the last presentation and stay as long as you can. And if you have to leave, we totally get it. It's been a long morning. We'll come back and say goodbye and wave and everyone. But if you need to leave, we totally get it. First, we're going to have our friends from India share a bit. Then we're going to go into those breakouts. And then we want to thank everyone for joining us today. It's been so amazing having you here. We're looking so much forward. Join the Flipgrid. Get started on that. You're going to hear lots about that from me. Send out the survey as soon as you get it. Send in your art. Think maybe, hey, I maybe want to design a logo. I want to think about my art being all over. You see t-shirts. We see Anna Perno's wearing her t-shirt. I see Carlos is wearing his t-shirt. They're all over the world and you could have your image on it. It'd be amazing. Okay, so welcome, Prashit. I know you're going to share a bit about what's going on at your school in Hyderabad, and then we'll go straight into our breakouts. Okay. Over to you, Prashit. And happy Eid to everyone who needs sleep.
Yeah.
Prashit, are you still here?
Oh no, did we wait too long for
Did
India?
we-
Now I feel bad.
I see Usha. Usha, do you have anyone you think? I
he-
don't see Prashit. All right.
Usha, can you check? Can you check where Prasid is? I thought
Oh, Prasid.
he was here. I hope he has not left.
Oh, he's there. I see him now.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Oh,
there.
no worries.
Okay, okay, come on.
Okay.
Come on.
So, Nitya, can you start presenting?
Yeah, better present.
Yeah, can you see the
Yeah, so, yeah, go ahead, Nitya.
So this was a project we'd done in 9th grade for a competition hosted by IIT Madras. This was basically to solve the problem of marine debris.
IITM is basically the largest engineering institute in India. So, yeah.
We all know that marine debris causes a lot of problems for people, ecosystems, and even our economy. It especially influences our wildlife. Marine debris has been documented to impact more than about 700 species, from coastal vegetation to plankton, invertebrates, etc. Some wildlife has been entangled in fishing nets and plastic bags, etc. So our machine was basically to clean up some of the plastic debris, the floating plastic debris in the oceans. So our solution, called the Agnesagua, is a machine which basically uses green energy to clean the ocean. The components we used were a Tesla valve, which basically allows one-way flow of water, which we had carved out from the carpentry section in our school. And fine sieve, a torque motor, converging, diverging nozzles, and an electrostatic precipitator to help out with the more particulate wastes.
So the prototype is basically consisting of a Stirling engine, which is one of the most efficient engines. It basically runs completely on solar energy. And as you can see, the aluminum foil attached there is connected to these 4 little stations, which are basically, bits of aluminum foil rounded off by a lens. And it uses the same principle that our Earth is now undergoing. It uses the greenhouse effect to, basically heat up the aluminum foil by concentrating the solar rays over sand. And that, heats up the bottom plate, while the top plate of the Stirling engine, which is covered by cardboard, is insulated and remains colder. So that temperature differential causes the Stirling engine to rotate, and that powers the whole, machine. So basically, the entire machine is eco-friendly and green. It doesn't utilize any fuel. And in case the Stirling engine fails due to any, if it's a cloudy day or something, there's a backup sail and also flattener rotor, which is basically a huge cylinder, which uses this thing called the Coanda effect, thermodynamics, aerodynamics, sorry. And that helps, that gives a lot of propulsion. A circuit board is used, which coordinates all the intricacies of the functioning of the buoy in the open ocean, and it tells us when the filtration tank is full. The solar panels to power the circuit board, and a storm protection mechanism also exists. So basically, Nitya, can you go over to the actual picture of the model, the large scale one? Yeah. So yeah, the whole storm protection mechanism works on the principle of, there's a sort of a sensor over there, a sort of tilt sensor that detects how much disturbed the machine is, and that helps in reeling the other two flaps of the buoy, which form a sort of cavity around the entire circuit board and everything, and it protects it during storms and stuff. So there's also Tesla valve over here, which helps to prevent the backflow of water at night, and also the suction of the whole microplastics which help in jamming of the propellers. And now to the whole filtration part of it. So this is based on biomimicry. There's the whole baleen structure of whales is modified to act as sieves, and they're two sieves, basically a coarse sieve and also a fine sieve, which help in filtration of both micro and macro plastics. And there's also marine life exit, because obviously the whole machine does not want biodiversity to be affected. So it's completely optimized engineering wise and also eco-friendly wise. And we tested it out, and we figured it would be very efficient at reducing the amount of plastic waste.
Amazing. This is super spectacular. And just so it shows just the amazing creativity that some of our projects are really based on education, and others are based on, I don't know, switching to water bottles. And then some are just blow my mind, are based on new technologies. And these ideas are just incredible. I'm so inspired by you guys. And I know that Carlos in Peru had a similar sort of project a few years ago, where he had students looking at mosquitoes, and they were building water capture systems or something with cost. And there's all these different hands-on projects, and that really inspired us this year. And that we've introduced in the classroom a bunch of hands-on things. So do you want to build a solar oven? Do you want to build a wind turbine?
I can't remember what all, there's so many.
We have
cool
about
options.
10 cool options of builds. So this isn't just, you're not just doing potentials for like learning. Obviously, we're going to learn about carbon footprints and all those sorts of like learning, but there's also hands-on learning opportunities. So if this inspired you, like this amazing technology out of India, how can you adapt maybe one of our builds to do something similar to, whether it be plastics or ovens or whatever sort of projects that you come up with, and then come and share them like they did here. This is so cool. Thank you so much, India, for sharing this, for Hyderabad Public School for sharing this with all of our students here. Okay. Dude, we are running out of time. We are over time by like 20 minutes, but we're going to open up some groups. And so this is going to be our last sort of chance to, if you have projects or anything you want to share, this is your chance to do it. And then we're just going to say bye-bye. So
this time around, we're going to let you guys choose. So if you have a group together that wants to present, we'll go ahead and let you choose. You can either present in the main room with us, or you can jump into breakout 1, 2, or 3. So maybe just quickly, if you're together, you can say it in person, you can say it over the chat. You know, everyone in the Philippines, we're hopping to room 2, and you guys can hop over there. But there's 3 rooms. I think 3 rooms will work well. It looks like Argentina's already going into room 2. So if anybody would like to hear from Argentina, you can go ahead and join them in room 2. We don't have to use all 3. If we only have enough to do 2 of them, that works as well. But you guys can go ahead and hop into whatever room you'd like to. If you have to leave us, it was wonderful to have you, and we want to thank you for sharing and taking the time to hear all that we have going on for Decarbonize this year. But we do want to hear from some more of you. So if you're able to stay for the breakout rooms, please do.
Happy Earth Day, everyone. Amazing youth action going on. We cannot wait for another exciting year of Decarbonize.
Okay, a wonderful beginning to another COP this year. Okay. Yeah,
Thanks,
okay. I
everyone.
have to